Today we're finishing our conversation on investing. We've talked about how to invest your time, your resources into the three ways that are building wealth in this world, which are the stock market, becoming an entrepreneur and starting a business, and through real estate. Those are the three ways that you can build wealth. How are you investing your time, your resources into one of those three areas so that you can build wealth for the future? Well, I saved the best one for last. The most important investment that you can make is into yourself. And of course, I've got some examples of how I did that to transition my business and take my business to the next level. Maybe about 6 or 7 years ago, I had to invest into myself to become the person that I am today. So I'm going to tell you that story. Stay tuned. What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Tremain Show. I'm Tremain Davis, and today we're talking about investing in yourself. How that is one of the most, that is the most important thing that you can do as an entrepreneur, as a person in this world, is invest in yourself. It is the absolute most important investment you will ever make. So I have a personal story, of course, from my experience. I don't like to tell you things that I haven't necessarily done myself. How I transitioned into the person that I am today. So, today I'm a consultant, I'm a teacher, I'm an author, I'm a strategist. I work with some really big brands. I work with, hundreds of local and small businesses. I work with, local, government agencies and things like that. I'm just a very, well-versed in what it takes to start and grow a business. And that came from me actually investing in myself, like I said, maybe about 6 years ago, 6 to 7 years ago. So I've been in entrepreneurship for 20 years. Started my first business 20 years ago, a story that I've told you all. And of course I can we can revisit it in later videos. But after maybe about, I would say 13 to 14 years in entrepreneurship, I started getting these calls where it's like, hey, I've got a business ministry at my church. Could you come speak to them? How do you start this kind of business? How do you do this? How do you do that? And I started getting these calls, and not every day, but, every so often I would get a call to ask me about business. And I had some insight. I had been out there, I had been doing some things, I had started multiple businesses, but what I realized at that point, after I started getting a few calls, is that I didn't have a system in place that I could tell people what I did. So I could just give them some insights based on specific situations that they may ask me about, and definitely could give, some of my experience, tell my story, and it's always good to hear somebody's story and hear how they overcame and how they did what they specifically did. But I didn't have any systems in place where I could say, listen, replicate this, emulate this. This is what you need to do. And so that's where I realized there was a gap in my knowledge. I had some experiential knowledge, but I didn't have any systematized, codified, knowledge that I could show somebody a blueprint of what I did. I hadn't reflected on my experiences so that I could put something down where it specifically talks to what I did to be successful in a way where anybody in any business could use this information or this knowledge. And so I realized that after I started getting these calls, and I said, hey, there's a gap here. So one of the things that I did was I started to invest in myself. I started to learn and started to get on the hunt for knowledge so that I could learn more about how to systematize the knowledge or the experience that I already had, the knowledge and experience that I already had. How do you do that? And so that's what I ended up having to do. And so what I did was a good old-fashioned YouTube University. I talk about YouTube University all the time. And the reason why I say I got a PhD from it is because of this period in my life where I actually took myself to the next level from watching YouTube videos, getting involved with conferences, connecting with people who were where I wanted to be. And so one thing I had to figure out is where I had to specialize in something. All these people who are jack of all trades, that is not something that is going to be profitable. You're profitable when you have a specific knowledge about something, and then you can tell somebody specifically about this area of expertise that you have, okay? And so I just felt at first going into it like, oh, I know business. I've started businesses and things like that. Ask me about business. And that is not really a good way to approach it. So as people started to ask me specific questions outside of me just telling my story, I couldn't really answer the questions. And that's what revealed that gap in knowledge that I had. So I had to specifically say, all right, well, I like business, of course. I like entrepreneurship, of course. I've been doing it. This is my track in life, through all the ups and the downs, the losses, nothing could ever take me or sway me away from wanting to be an entrepreneurship and wanting to be a businessman. This was definitely what I wanted to do. So I recognize what my passion is. So that would be one of the first things that I would suggest for you all is, identify a passion, So the second thing I had to do is I had to get specific about one area of that passion. So I love business, but that is a broad topic. So I had to figure out what part of business I wanted to specialize in. And so that would be number two. You have to, even though you have a passion, you have to narrow it down to something specific that you can specialize in, okay? And I didn't know I was doing point 1, point 2 today, but it's just kind of flowing that way. So rock with me. All right, so the first thing you have to do is identify a passion. The second thing you need to do is pick an area of that passion that you can specialize in. Not saying that you can't learn a lot about the whole subject, but you have to start somewhere. And then once you dominate that one part of it or specialize in that one part of it, then you can start adding on to your knowledge base. But you have to have an infrastructure. You have to have a ground floor of information that you can specialize in, and then you can build on top of that. So business is a big topic. I had to figure out what part of business I wanted to get into. I mean, there's so much different stuff about business that you can talk about, that you can specialize in. So I had to kind of comb through business. That was the thing. So what I used to do when I first got started on this journey is I just would listen to just random business stuff. Anything on business. So I mean, anything from Mark Cuban to Jeff Bezos to Harvard iLabs and some of the different people who do business strategy, and then that's what ended up landing. But I would just listen to you just name the gambit, just the whole spectrum of business. I would just listen to content on all of the different areas of business. And then what ended up resonating with me, I heard a talk on strategy, business strategy, and that it clicked for me. That was the one that I really loved, and the reason I love business strategy is because it confused the heck out of me. I listened to this talk on business strategy, and I said, man, I thought I knew some stuff about business, but once I listened to this business strategy talk, it was literally like listening to another language. It was like they were speaking Spanish or Chinese, and I don't speak either of those languages. So after the talk, I said, man, I have got to learn this business strategy stuff. And it just seemed like it was something that was core and germane to everything else that had to do with business. It seemed like business strategy was the puppet master and everything else in business was the puppets. Business strategy was just this high level thought process that controlled everything, So I said, man, I want to learn about business strategy. And so once I discovered business strategy, like I said, by just listening to just a plethora, a myriad of information on the topic that I said I wanted to go into, I discovered business strategy, stumbled up on it by listening to just, like I said, a bunch of different stuff, stumbled up on a business strategy talk, and I said, man, what is this business strategy stuff? And it really intrigued me. And so then for the next 3 years, I'm telling you, 3 to 4 years, anything business strategy, I consumed it. It was like a never-ending fire in my belly that I just had to get my hands on anything business strategy. And then I started connecting with people who were business strategists so I could ask them questions and everything like that. So that's how I became the person that I am today, really by delving into something that I was passionate about, something that I really, really, really loved, and it was just years of just beating on the craft, just years of just consuming information, taking notes. I mean, I got so many notepads on stuff that I've listened to about business strategy, taking notes. And the thing that was good about my previous experience today, it all works to your advantage, because as I figured out the business strategy stuff, I could point it back to the experience that I had over the years and some of the things I did right, some of the things I did wrong, and that type of thing. And it started being able to give me a framework so that I can put a system together that I could now teach other people. And so that's how I got to where I am today, which is investing in myself. I wanted to go to the next level, and the way that I had had to go to the next level was by first investing in me, and then I could go to the next level, So then I started getting free calls, come speak for free. Then I started getting, some pro bono, not pro bono, some in-kind partnership kind of calls. And then I started getting paid calls, you know what I'm saying? Where people pay me to come speak and things like that and teach and all of that. So that's the beginning of this whole investing in yourself thing. I want to talk about it one more day, so we'll wrap it up tomorrow. But investing in yourself is literally the best investment that you could ever make. That's my story on how it took me to the next level, and I'll wrap it up and finish it up tomorrow. But what could you invest in today for yourself? What area of business, entrepreneurship, just anything, it doesn't have to necessarily be business. Maybe it's photography, maybe it's some of the things that we talked about real estate investing or stock market investing. What could you actually start investing in yourself, building your knowledge pool, building yourself up, mentally in a certain area so that you can now go and teach somebody else? That's where the money is, okay? All right, so as usual, like, subscribe, share, send this information to every entrepreneur that you know. They need to understand the way to take yourself to the next level in business or in entrepreneurship or whatever you're doing is by investing in yourself. I am a living, walking witness of that. So I'm telling you my personal experience because it works. All right. Also, as usual, the best form of support is just you being here with me today, and I really appreciate you. Thank you. All right. I'm Tremain Davis, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace. This video is brought to you by Davis & Davis Investments and Management, a full-service business solutions firm. So whether you need one-on-one business coaching or training, or whether you need business strategy development, or if you just need to learn how to shoot professional videos from your iPhone so you can move some of your content online, we've been helping businesses win for over 10 years. So click the link below, grab your free consultation to see if we're the right fit for you.
So, thank you for watching our video, and make sure subscribe to the channel, click the button, and 1, 2, 5. Bye!
Hold on.
Bye!
Good job. TJ just told everybody to subscribe to the channel and look below and click the button. Good job, TJ.
Bye.
Bye.